Good afternoon. For our U.S. Culture project, we're going to talk about Hispanic Americans. First, we're going to talk about history and migration of this community, which started in the centuries 16 to 18 with the Spanish colonization, which was a very important event for this migration of Hispanic people, as it laid the groundwork for this Hispanic population into the region of what we know now as the United States. Now, in the centuries 19 to 20th, we have many important events that took part for this Hispanic immigration. First, we have the Mexican-American War, which after it ended, the United States annexed a very large amount of Mexican territory to their country, with the states such as California, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. And this led to many Spanish-speaking residents to become U.S. citizens. On the other hand, we have the Bracero program, which was an economic initiative, encouraged Mexicans to go to the United States as contract workers. And finally, we have important events on the Cold War, such as the Chicago Boys, which were students from Chile that earned a scholarship to go to the United States to learn about liberalism, to after that spread this economy system in their countries. And in the most recent century, century 21, well, we have many reasons why Hispanic Americans immigrate to the United States, principally because of lack of economic and labor opportunities in their countries, also because of political conflicts, and finally for violence or national security. Now, for Hispanic American culture, we have four important aspects. First is family. They have a strong family ties which are central for them, and they usually have extended families with a larger number of members, often playing important roles in each other's life. In second place, we have religion. Catholicism is a significant aspect of many Hispanic cultures, among many others, but this is a more practiced one, and this really influence in their traditions and beliefs. For community, well, they have a strong sense of community and belonging to a group, which is often present on either members of the same family or around their neighborhoods. And they also have a very big sense of respect, especially respect for elders or authority figures and those in the community, which is highly valued. On the other hand, we have some of the holidays that are celebrated by Hispanic American communities. We have December 24th as Christmas Eve, on the third Sunday of April, Easter, which is related to religion, on May 5th, Batalla de Puebla, on September 1st, the first Monday of September, we have Labor Day, which is very important for them as labor opportunities is one of the reasons why they immigrate to the United States. We also have September 16 as Independence Day in Mexico. For a whole month, they celebrate Hispanic heritage, in this case from September 15th to October 15th, which is also called Charros Day. On the second Monday of October, they celebrate Columbus Day. And on November 1st to the 2nd, they celebrate Dia de Muertos, which is a very important holiday to remember those members within the family that are no longer in this world.
The lifestyle of America. Population in America. Hispanic people or Latinos represent one of the fastest growing populations in the United States. They make up nearly 20% of the total U.S. population. The majority live in the 5K states: California, Texas, Florida, New York, and Illinois. Together, these states host over 60% of all Latinos in the country. This growing population brings strong cultural, social, and economic contributions to American life. In terms of health of Hispanic people, although Latinos have lower overall death rates than other groups, they face serious health challenges linked to lifestyle. Diseases like diabetes are common, and Puerto Ricans have some of the highest cancer rates among Hispanic groups. Many first-generation immigrants are really healthy, but are impacted by sedentary living, poor diets, and limited green space. Last generation often adopt unhealthy eating habits. Some also return to their home countries when healed, and trend now has the salmon bias. In the topic of work and economy, Latino workers are driving force in the U.S. economy, contributing nearly $3 trillion to the GDP every year. Most are employed in education, healthcare, and social service, with many also working in sales, construction, and administration. More than 4.3 million Latino-owned businesses in the U.S. generate over $700 billion annually. Their work not only boosts the economy, but also reflects resilience, creativity, and entrepreneurship. In terms of getting a good job often requires education, something many Hispanics strive for despite obstacles. Only 13% of Hispanic adults hold a college degree, and just 4% have completely technical or higher education. Still, Latinos are increasingly visible in politics, serving as mayors, legislators, and even in the president's cabinet. Their growing presence in leadership shows progress and inspires future generations to aim higher. In the gastronomy, the Latino cuisine in the U.S. is rich and diverse, from Mexican dishes like chile en hogada in Los Angeles to Cuban vaca frita and Colombian arepas in Miami. Latino flavors have influenced kitchens across the country. San Antonio is famous for Tex-Mex, while New York celebrates Caribbean meals like mofongo and ropa vieja. Hispanic food blends tradition from Spain, Africa, and Asia, creating unique and vibrant experiences. In the education challenge, despite their economic and cultural importance, many Hispanics struggle with access to education. More than 41% of Latinos over age 20 haven't finished a high school. University is often outreach due to high costs or unlimited resources. Many avoid student loans that could follow them for life. This lack of access creates a major barrier to work mobility and better job opportunities. A better education. Fortunately, government initiatives are working to support Latino students. Efforts focus on reducing school dropout rates, improving access to higher education, and offering financial aid. Young Latinos show growing ambitions, seeking university degrees and professional careers. As education levels rise, to reduce their influence in American society, economically, culturally, and politically, a better education opens the door to a better future for the entire Hispanic community.
Oh, and the communication, as we saw, they use the bilingualism and the Spanglish as language habits that creates the communication inside or outside the community. And well, as we know, the bilingualism is the ability of speaking two different languages. And well, the Spanglish is defined by Ramos as a transitory mixture of English and Spanish. Well, on the article by Silvia Berry, tell us that the Spanglish is the code switching and the code mixing between English and Spanish. That was a communication strategy typical of a part of the Hispanic military that also expressed its identity through these verbal behaviors. The objective of this was that many Hispanic wanted to be part of the new system, but at the same time, they wanted to preserve their identity. And as a result, The generations of new Mexican Americans that are called Chicangos began using this. The number of Hispanics living in the United States is not equivalent to the number of Spanish speakers. This causes the majority to not have bilingualism. And as curiosities of the Hispanic community is that the Spanglish, as we saw before, again, there is more common among friends or members in the Hispanic community. Also, another curiosity is that the children of Hispanic parents that were born on the United States help their parents to access to many different services because sometimes it's a little bit difficult to access to this if you don't know English. And finally, we have the Hispanic graphic that is that was took on 2022, and the majority of the Hispanic people are Mexicans. That is the nearest country to the United States. Also, Puerto Rican, that is considered part of the United States, but not as a state, as a country.
Well, this was all for the presentation. Thank you for your attention.